Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel, folks. And this reaction to the Auburn-Alabama basketball game, the first of what we could see of many, at least two, folks, at least two. But Auburn gets the 94-85 win. Give them credit, man. Give Auburn credit where credit is due. Big boy win right there. That's kind of the initial thoughts. It jump off my mind when I think about it. Again, big boy win, phenomenal start, phenomenal finish to the half to kind of put Alabama in a tough spot, if we're being honest. Again, Bama down 9 at half. It doesn't seem insurmountable. And Bama ended up tying it up. And Bama came out from bigger deficits at home before, too, which is wild to say. Because Alabama, I think, has played better on the road this year. But I think today you got to give Auburn credit for flexing their muscles. Every time Alabama went on a run to cut it to 2, to cut it to 4, to tie it, the next play, the very next possession, Alabama and Auburn are in a 3-point contest at that point. I mean, it was fun basketball to watch. But Auburn hit a big 3. It was Miles Kelly right after Bama tied it up on that layup, that dunk by Grant Nelson. But no, give Auburn credit. Bruce Pearl, mature basketball team, a lot of guys that had been on that roster. And the average age, 24 years old? Man, that's an old basketball team. A couple of 25-year-olds. Moment was never too big for them. I thought Alabama came out a little tight. They did. I thought they played a little tight. Maybe the whole hammering home the turnovers, maybe a little gunshot. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it. I'm not trying to speculate here, but I do certainly think Alabama was playing tight for whatever reason that was. That is just speculation, but that would be mine a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, Auburn's a big boy win. That's one of those that's up there with, again, currently with the way Alabama and Auburn are both operating right now at a basketball level, to pick up a road win at the other team's home floor, whether that's in Coleman Coliseum or Neville Arena, very impressive. One of the more impressive wins in this rivalry since Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl have been there, going back to Bama's 2023 win at Neville with Brandon Miller, and then when they won the regular season, got the #1 overall seed. This game tonight will be critical for that perspective. Man, but what a game! Let's get into the box score here a little bit. All right, Auburn again, 94-85 win. Auburn improves to 23-2, 11-1. Bama drops to 21-4, 10-2. Auburn's got a 1-game lead in the standings on Alabama right now. Auburn shot 46% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc. Phenomenal night stroking the basketball. And again, I said it. Alabama's going to throw a bunch of bodies at Johni Broome. If you go back and watch the preview myself and Chris Phillips did, who was going to be that X factor kind of for Auburn? Who was going to be that X factor who could hit some shots beyond the arc? Because again, they had 3 guys shooting over 40% going in. So it was obviously a good 3-point shooting basketball team. I mean, they had, 3 guys in double figures. Denver Jones, Miles Kelly, both of them having big games. Denver Jones is the kid who hadn't been playing. He hadn't been playing that well against better competition for them. Auburn's been winning games, but him specifically, his averages go down significantly. But tonight he answered the bell. I mean, he totally answered the bell. 5 for 9 from beyond the arc. 5 for 9 from the field. 3 for 5 for beyond the arc. 3 for 3 at the charity stripe there. 1 rebound. I mean, Johni Broome, 19 points, 14 rebounds, scored 8 straight points to start the half. Then went a little quiet. Went out in the second half, but they fought through it. Chad Baker-Mazara got his 5th foul, the flagrant foul, but Auburn held strong. Man, more impressed with again, can Auburn play as well as they did again? I mean, let's see. I mean, most nights you're not, 40%, I mean, they kind of been doing that. So, yeah, I mean, they could probably play to this level that they played at tonight again. Could they play better? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Bruce Pearl would say that. I mean, they probably could shoot it better at the free throw line, 68%. Had 4 turnovers. Bama had 7. I mean, the turnovers were only 11 combined turnovers tonight, folks. This wasn't a poorly played. It's a pretty fun basketball game, honestly. I just thought Bama missed some bunnies at the rim. Auburn did a phenomenal job frustrating Alabama early offensively. Obviously, Bama ends up getting theirs, 85%. And speaking of Alabama, 38% from the field, 19.2% from beyond the arc, 5 for 26 from beyond the arc. That is not going to get it done, folks. It's just not. It's what concerns me a little bit when Bama plays these upper, again, Bama's beat a lot of upper echelon teams. Bama, they already beat Houston. That's what I'm saying. But when they play Auburn and Duke, kind of those two teams, you're going to have to shoot well because those are really good basketball teams. You're not going to be able to get away with beating them only shooting 19.2% when they shoot 40%. and only shot only had 4 more attempts from beyond the arc. Auburn had 30, Bama had 26. I mean, you're just not going to win. Bama's going to have to shoot better if they want to have any kind of shot in Neville. But no, I mean, Bama still got their points, like I was saying. But Auburn's ability to Auburn's just a complete team. I think they're the most complete team in college basketball. I've said it the whole time. I think they have the highest floor, and I think there's a massive gap between them to that next team from a floor perspective. Like, they're up there in the ceiling standpoint. I think you can make a case Alabama may have higher ceilings when Alabama's playing their best. But I think floor, that massive gap after Auburn. I mean, Auburn doesn't really go play really bad games. You know, they just don't really go play that. I mean, to go win 6 games, win a national championship, that's a recipe to doing it, is that. So, I mean, very deep basketball team. I was more impressed, again, and it's wild what I'm about to say. They shot 40% tonight from beyond the arc. I'm more impressed with Auburn's maturity, I guess you would say, the tenacity. I mean, the reaction title to this, Answers the Bell. I think that fits perfectly, because Auburn could have been like, my God, we got off to a great start, finished the half well. Bama ties it up in the second half. Janai's a little banged up. You could have had stuff like that kind of happen, and it didn't snowball on them. Very level-headed, maturity. Even at the end, when they're shooting their free throws, they're kind of just focusing on winning the job. That's a compliment to Bruce Pearl and his staff. Phenomenal win, though. Big boy road win, answering the bell, whatever adjective, folks, you want to use in this game. That's what Auburn did. Phenomenal job from Auburn. What do we got? Bama shot 3 more free throws than Auburn. Auburn had 2 more fouls than Alabama. Again, Auburn's largest lead here was 14. Bama's was 1. For Bama, I mean, it took Mark Sears they were frustrating him early, but he still gets his quiet 18, 4 for 17 from beyond the arc, 2 for 11 from the field. 4 for 17 from the field, 2 for 11 from beyond the arc. Again, part of the issues from shooting for Alabama from that perspective. Jaron Stevenson 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. You had Grant Nelson with 12, which I didn't think Grant Nelson played that well. I did not think him or Jaron Stevenson did not play well. Now, was I expecting Jaron Stevenson to replicate his Texas night? No. But I thought both those guys had some point-blank range shots at the rim and kind of just looked a little intimidated of a shot blocker, even though no one was even close. Like, Grant Nelson driving the lane, thinks he's Michael Jordan, jumps from the free throw line and kind of panics, and then kind of lays it up late and it goes flying off the backboard. That stuff is almost a turnover in itself a little bit. I know Bama only had 7 tonight. That's a massive improvement. But no, I mean, I think overall, I thought Cliff Amore was pretty solid tonight from an Alabama perspective, giving somebody some flowers. And again, this is a good basketball game, folks. I think these are 2 really good basketball teams, 2 teams that I expect to be in the Final Four as of this moment. I think Auburn just has the higher floor where their bad game is still going to win most nights. I think that is what I didn't even think Alabama played terrible. I didn't. I mean, I thought offensively they got off to a rough start. I mean, defensive rebounding off to a rough start. When they had to make a play, they didn't. But you also got to give Auburn credit there. But baby, I mean, again, to go win these type of games, I mean, this is a national title contender, one of the few in Auburn. You're not going to get away with that shooting 19%. You're not. In any other matchup, the one in Auburn in the season, if you see them in Nashville in the SEC tournament, or if you see them in the NCAA tournament, which is possible, you're going to have to shoot better than that. And I mean, they know. I mean, they know that. You know, that's still a compliment to Nate Oates' system. Aiden Holloway, 10 points. I mean, he missed a point-blank layup as well down the stretch there. Thought Modia Body was fine. Bama's front line outside of Jaron Stevens, outside of Grant Nelson to me, was actually not bad tonight. I mean, I know Janai finished with 19 points and 14 boards, but 2 blocks as well. But overall, though, I did not think this was that poor of – I mean, it's a pretty good basketball game across the board. Again, Auburn, it felt like they controlled this game. When it got tied, you thought, well, I mean, these next few possessions are going to tell the tale. But Auburn bounced back, making back-to-back threes. So it was never in doubt. I wouldn't say it was never in doubt. Auburn controlled this game from start to finish. Again, they were the more mature team. They were the better team today. I think overall, you can say they're the better basketball team. For sure, certainly. Injuries down the line, yeah, we'll be changing our tone potentially on that. But as of this moment, I mean, they just played in Tuscaloosa. Again, a game Bama was favored by minus. It was favored by 1.5. Massive win. I think it's one of the better wins of Bruce Pearl's career to come in there. That was a massive game. Massive win for BP and Auburn. Got to give them their credit from that perspective. Now, what does this mean? I think from an NCAA tournament perspective. NCAA tournament perspective. I think you're fighting for a number 1 overall seed. It's going to force Bama to probably have to go win that game in Auburn in the season. But looking at the SEC standings here, what does this kind of mean? I just wanted to quickly go over this. I mean, look, all right, Auburn's 11-1 now. Bama's 10-2. They play again. So if you're Alabama, you're fired up about that. Is it going to be a tough game? Hell yeah. Are you going to be an underdog? Hell yeah. Like, you're going to have to go win that game. Bama's played better on the road, but again, Neville Arena is a different beast. And I know some people may say, hey, well, Dave, just a week ago, they lost to Florida at home. While true, still a tough environment, especially when Alabama comes to town from that perspective. The thing that concerns me, not really that you're only 1 game back, and this is why Auburn losing to Florida was so massive. I mean, it kind of gave Bama a little breath of fresh air, even some cushion even tonight. But, I mean, this is Bama's remaining schedule. They play a top 25 team the rest of the way. At Missouri on Wednesday, you got to bounce back. Tough environment, Mizzou Arena. Can't let Auburn beat you twice, but let's be honest here. Auburn may not even beat you twice. You may go play well again, and you lose at Missouri with Tamar Bates. And that's a really good Mark Mitchell. Again, you could play well and lose at Missouri. That's possible, very possible. So it's like Auburn may not beat you twice, but certainly Auburn can't beat you twice. You got to nip that in the bud going into tomorrow's film review, going into practice on Monday. If you're Nate Oates, he knows that. That's why he's one of the best in the game. But again, Auburn winning tonight almost makes Bama, in my opinion, call me crazy, folks, have to win 5 straight down the stretch. At Missouri, remember, they play a ranked team down the stretch for the remainder of the season. At Missouri, host Kentucky, host Mississippi State, at Tennessee, Florida at home, at Auburn. It's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. That's why I think that Alabama had to have it today, even though they're only 1 game back and they'll get to see Auburn again. It's not really if they can win at Auburn. If it came down to that, I mean, yeah, Alabama could win there on a given day. I mean, obviously, again, like I keep saying, they're going to have to shoot better from beyond the arc. My bigger concern is them dropping 1 down the stretch here, and it puts a lot of pressure on you having to win out. And again, at Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi State, at Tennessee, and Florida, that's hard. I mean, Kentucky, Bama, Mississippi State, you think you should get it home. Florida's already proven they can go beat an Auburn team that just beat you at Auburn. So that's certainly not a gimme. At Tennessee's not a gimme. And at Missouri's not a gimme. I mean, and certainly Kentucky and Mississippi State are not gimmies either. But Bama has the hardest schedule left in the sport. They have the hardest schedule left of anyone in college basketball. So that's why I think tonight almost, I don't want to say clinches it, but Auburn's in a really, really, really good spot. What is next for the Auburn Tigers? Again, a little bit easier of a schedule down the stretch. Arkansas at home midweek, Georgia at home midweek, Ole Miss at home midweek. Again, 3 straight home games at Kentucky, at A&M, Alabama at home. Obviously, the tougher part of that stretch, last 3 at Kentucky, at A&M, hosting Bama at home. I mean, again, I think it matters because do we think Auburn goes undefeated down the stretch here and finishes 17-1? I mean, it's very likely, very possible, I would say. Maybe not likely is the right word. Very possible. Bama probably needs them to drop one of these. It's probably going to be either at Kentucky or at A&M back-to-back, but right before they play Bama. So I don't know. I don't see them dropping a home game to either Arkansas, Georgia, or Ole Miss. It'd have to be on the road. But again, that just puts a lot of pressure, puts Bama's back against the wall for that. Bama could maybe afford 1 more loss because it wouldn't shock me if Auburn lost 1 more time. But losing tonight, you can't lose more than 2 games left. And again, you got Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi State, at Tennessee, and Florida at home down the stretch. That is just going to be really tough, my friends. That's just going to be really tough tonight. But again, give Bruce Pearl and them flowers. I think this is one of Bruce's biggest wins since he's been at Auburn. When you factor in the environment, 1 versus 2, just a lot of external stuff. And again, that's how Alabama lost. They weren't distracted by external stuff. I mean, once Bama settled into the middle of the first half, they were fine. Auburn had a great start to the game, great final 2 minutes where they went on a 7-0 run to go up 9 to open the half. And then again, every time Bama opened the door to go on a big run, Auburn was there to punch them in the mouth and answer them with their own run. So give Auburn them credit. Mature win, championship type of win. Give Bruce and the boys credit, folks. But before we get out of here, when the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, folks, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the final whistle or first whistle to the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets in the same game parlay for a shot at bigger payout. However you want to play, Now is the time to join. New FanDuel customers getting started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and plus and present in select states or Kansas in affiliation with the Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Guys, again, our proud title sponsor now at the SEC Unfiltered, FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $150 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Folks, Auburn in the driver's seat of the SEC regular season. True national title contender. I think there's only 2 or 3 of them. I mean, would be shocked at this point if they're not in the Final Four. The most complete team, highest floor. Like I said, I don't know if they have the highest ceiling. I think that could be argued. I think highest floor, though, I think it's them. Big gap. And again, that's kind of where you want to be, folks. Because again, come March, when you're trying to go win the whole thing, at least get 4 to get to the Final Four. And you know Auburn's sites this year. They want to go win it all. You're going to have to play with your floor at times. You're going to have to play with your floor. You're not going to play your ceiling. You're probably not going to shoot 40% every NCAA game. I mean, if they do, they're going to win it all. We shouldn't even play it. So, big props. Bruce Pearl, I think one of the biggest wins of his time at Auburn. Give Auburn their flowers. Again, for Alabama, it's not over. You just got to bounce back against Missouri. Again, tough schedule down the stretch. That's why today probably stings a little more, because you feel like, man, we're putting ourselves a lot of pressure down the stretch to go win this SEC regular season. But for Dave Shumate, I hope you enjoyed this, man. What a phenomenal game. We still have some games on the docket tonight. Second half of Ole Miss Mississippi State as well down at the Pavilion. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.